Government corruption is being exposed at an alarming rate. And trust me when I say this, 2026 is going to reveal a lot more truth.
I gotta be honest, Canada is so disappointing now. It's a completely different place.
And until Canada gets leadership again, not better messaging, not better press conferences, nothing will ever change.
Oh, Canada, there is a manufactured collapse of that country happening in real time.
Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Values mean nothing without leverage.
As usual, I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I'm in Canada. Obviously, the country is drowning in debt. It is collapsing. It's slowly dying. Your country's dying.
Something is seriously wrong with Canada. And most people are only starting to feel it now. You're working more, but somehow saving less. You're paying higher taxes, but getting less in return. Groceries are more expensive. Housing feels impossible. Healthcare is slower than ever. And jobs? They're becoming harder to find. This isn't just inflation anymore, this is something deeper. Because right now, families across Canada are facing 4 major crises at the same time: cost of living crisis, food crisis, job crisis, health crisis, and while all of this is happening, scandal after scandal passes, and nothing really changes. So the question is Canada's economy quietly collapsing while nobody is paying attention? In this video, we're going to break down what's really happening, why people are struggling more than ever, and what this means for your future. If you care about your money, your future, and your family, make sure you watch till the end. And if you want real, unfiltered insights like this, hit subscribe now.
And until Canada gets leadership again, not better messaging, not better press conferences, nothing will ever change. They manage housing shortages instead of fixing supply. They will manage your expectations instead of raising your standard of living. And here's the dangerous part. When a country is ran by managers, ambition becomes a problem. That's what Canada has right now. Professional managers.
I gotta be honest, Canada is so disappointing now. It's a completely different place. I moved away about 2 years ago. I've been living in the US for 2 years, but I come back to Canada quite often. And I've noticed, or I should say I've made a lot of observations of just how it continues to keep going downhill. For starters, the cost of living in Canada is absolutely insane. I don't understand how they get away with it. I saw a house not too far from mine that was a piece of garbage. It was so bad. It was old, falling apart. It was horrible. And out of curiosity, I looked up how much it was selling for. $350,000. When I was younger, $350,000 got you a really nice place, at least where I'm from. Now it's like you need like $700,000 plus to even get a half decent home. And the cost of groceries is absolutely insane. I shop at Trader Joe's in the US, so my grocery order is about $60 to $65 every 2 weeks, which can't complain. I'm happy with that. And here I went to a local farmer's market down the street because I just try to support every time I'm home. And I got like 5 just little things, like a bag of chips, a jar of peanut butter, a package of cookies, like simple things. And it came to $62. Like in what world, you know? That is crazy. That is my whole grocery order in the US. And here, like that wouldn't even feed me for 3 days. And gas? I filled up my mom's SUV for her the other day because she wasn't quite on low fuel, but like it was getting there, and I thought, oh, I'll be nice, I'll fill up her tank. So I put the amount in $75 because I thought this should fill up her tank. It barely got it above halfway. She told me it takes about $140 to fill her gas tank. And she doesn't even have like a giant SUV. It's just like a normal standard size SUV. The healthcare system, completely trash. If you need to see your doctor, you need to book like 3 months in advance. And if you need anything serious like a surgery or an ultrasound, it's like a year-long wait list. Like just forget it. Oh, and let me add, when you do get to go to your doctor, they don't even want to give you the time of day. And now they have a thing, every concern you have, you're supposed to book a separate appointment for it. So I can't ask about more than one thing per appointment. What? I've had a chest infection for like a month and finally got into my doctor and they prescribed me a nasal spray. And they were like, no, it's probably not an infection. Just try this nasal spray. I've been on it for like 2 weeks. Hasn't done anything. I know you have to pay for healthcare in the US and it's expensive. And I know that sucks too. But at least like you get what you pay for and you get to see a doctor when you need to. It's like here it's free, but it's like you might not even live by the time your next appointment comes. The homelessness is so sad. I could not believe coming home and going to like the biggest city near me. It's not a big city at all. It's still a small town, but I went through the streets just for a walk. I couldn't believe how many homeless people there are. And it's just so sad because it's like, I get it. I don't know how, if you don't have a really good job, how do you live?
Oh, Canada, there is a manufactured collapse of that country happening in real time. And besides having back-to-back corrupt installed politicians that answer primarily to the WEF and the central bank, here's why the collapse is happening. First, Canada is bringing in almost 500,000 immigrants per year. And the real estate market is only building around 250,000 units per year, so house prices are going up, but wages don't follow because of the amount of immigrants willing to work for lower wages. Second, we must pay attention to the 1 to 1.8 income to debt ratio. That means that for every $100 you earn, you owe the bank 180. That's the third highest ratio in the world, which is not sustainable. Housing is unaffordable. There's 300,000 homeless people, but you're sending $25 billion to Ukraine. What a joke. Third is the leadership. Mark Carney is a central bank darling that was chosen to gradually collapse the country to implement a digital ID that's tied to a digital currency that's tied to a social credit score, just like China. And the hook will be universal basic income. And that free money will be very appealing to those who are struggling financially. But in order to get it, you'll have to sign up to the digital ID system. And if one day you don't comply or you say something that the government doesn't like, they can simply turn off your funds with one click, just like they did to the truckers during the protest. Canada appears to be very nice on the surface, but in reality, Canadians are like boiling frogs. The water is getting extremely hot, but they're not noticing because they've been in it for so long. And if they don't want to become a third world country, they need to start pushing back against their elected officials or start moving, because accepting all of this for free healthcare just ain't worth it.
I'm just going to say it. For years, Canada has been going around the globe preaching values. All the while, our own industries are being strangled and we are totally crippling our energy sector. The one key piece that we actually have leverage with, by the way. We built our entire identity on moral superiority, pretending that we were leading the world on climate change, equality, and values. But here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Values mean nothing without leverage. Values without anything tangible to show for it are just noise. And that's exactly why Canada is in the situation that it is, and that most of the world has stopped paying attention and stopped listening. That is why young people are choosing to move out of the country. Investors are not spending their money here, and other global leaders don't actually care that much about what we have to offer, because Mark Carney's right. We do have what the world wants. We just don't give it to them. And this is where the wake-up call should happen, because our problem here isn't that Canada has no leverage, that Canada is weak. What the real problem is that our leaders have traded prosperity for ideology with nothing to show for it. If we want to be taken seriously again, if we want to have a worthwhile future here that isn't just a future built on government subsidies and government handouts, we need to start acting like a country that earns respect, not begs for respect. And sitting there preaching to the world about all of these valuable, amazing things that you have that have no tangible results, that they benefit you or your people or your economy, is getting us absolutely nowhere. And it's time that we start demanding results.
Government corruption is being exposed at an alarming rate. And trust me when I say this, 2026 is going to reveal a lot more truth. Canadians are working full-time and paying income tax, sales tax, fuel tax, carbon tax, administrative tax, property tax. We're taxed when we earn, we're taxed when we spend, we're taxed when we save, when we buy a home, and when we sell it. But our tax dollars are being spent everywhere except where everyday people actually need them. And let's be clear, this is our money. It's not theirs. Between income taxes and hidden taxes built into all of our daily lives, many people are handing over close to half of what they earn just to exist. And it's not just the people that were already struggling. It's families who are doing everything right. They're being hit hard too. People who bought homes during the low interest period are now facing a very harsh reality. A mortgage that was once around $1,600 easily can jump to $2,400, sometimes over $1,000 every single month just to stay in that same home. These aren't reckless spenders. They are working families who qualified under the rules at the time, did what they were told, and planned their lives around what was affordable then. Now, through no fault of their own, they're going to be squeezed from every direction. Higher interest, higher taxes, higher cost, with no relief in sight. And once again, the people paying the price are the ones who played by the rules. Why are we paying into a system that doesn't even protect us if we need it and when we need it the most? In a true democracy, people would actually have a say in how their money is used. The government doesn't want that. They want the decisions being made behind closed doors, and they want us to accept the bill without questioning it. And I'm going to be very honest. We are all watching what's happening with those fraud cases in the States, and people are shaking their heads in disbelief. But do you honestly think that that's not happening here? Look at what Mark Carney just said about Justin Trudeau spending millions of dollars on that climate change. It was a complete waste of our tax money that we work very hard for. And the sad part is that when governments realize money has been mishandled, the people who pay the price are never the ones who are responsible. Do you think that taxpayers are going to get any of that money back? Do politicians ever face the same consequences that everyday people do? No. But when they want their money that was never really theirs to begin with, they come after people aggressively. After years of mixed messaging and rushed programs, now Canadians are being told that they owe money back. Money that many of them do not have. Money that they were approved for during a crisis. Many people did not commit fraud. They followed the rules they were given at the time. Now, years later, they're being told that they owe it all back during a cost of living crisis. And they're going to take it. The burden always falls on the same people. Do you ever notice how there's rarely any accountability at the top? How many scandals in our lifetime have we watched come and go with no real consequences? When was the last time that politicians were held to the same standards as regular citizens? When this trust disappears, compliance will disappear with it. And when people start feeling punished instead of protected, the systems will stop working how they're supposed to. Do you see it yet? Because a lot of people are seeing it. And I truly believe this is why the pressure is increasing. People are waking up at alarming rates, asking questions and refusing to stay silent. 2026? Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing some major shifts.
As usual, I'm going to get a lot of hate. I'm in Canada. Obviously, the country is drowning in debt. It is collapsing. It's slowly dying. Your country's dying. And if you don't know this, then you are way out of the loop, folks. But anyways, apparently liberalism is loved in Canada by about 50% of the population, according to polls, according to elections. Now, this is what I'm wondering. I don't know anybody who's liberal. I don't know anybody. Nobody. I haven't met a liberal in years. And there's all these videos online denouncing liberalism, denouncing the liberal government, their policies, their wacko ideologies. I know, report me to the Human Rights Tribunal because I'm talking anti-liberal. But here's the thing. There's either two choices, Canada. Now, knowing what this party has done to this country and their ways of thinking, either if they keep winning these elections, I've realized either I am here comes the hate, living in a retard colony. I know, Canada, you're not allowed to say that word. Or your elections are rigged. It's one of the two. There's no other answer, folks. There is no other answer. Think about this. I see all these videos on here, all platforms, and they're all bitching about the Liberal Party, and the Liberals totally deserve it. But if the Liberals are so popular over the last 11 years, where are their supporters here? There's no videos talking about how wonderful the Liberals are. There's no videos anywhere, almost nothing. So who's voting? Again, either I live in a retard colony, or your elections are rigged.
So you're saying they're closing down the women's shelter?
Yes, the Elizabeth Fry. If people actually did the history on what Elizabeth Fry is, that place is detrimental. That place saved my life when I got out of jail. And it helps the transition of women coming from jail. And they give them an ultimatum, 30 days you're out. Just because that land was sold. Like, it's saving lives. What, to send the women back out to the street to freeze?
Yeah, and people are freezing out
And
here.
there's no backup plan.
Jeez.
So that's
So where are you sleeping tonight?
well, I'm still at the Fry. We've got like maybe 18 days left before it's done.
But there's people sleeping out here on the street still, right?
Yeah. And then after that 30 days is up, they can't house any more women, and there's going to be that more women on the street.
So the federal government is sending billions of dollars to other countries for foreign aid. Meanwhile, we can't find the funding to keep our homeless off the streets.
Joining me now is senior economist with the Canadian Labour Congress, D.T. Cochrane. Thank you, sir, for being here. So Canada lost roughly 84,000 jobs last month and employment ticking up to 6.7%. What do these numbers tell us about where the labour market could be heading?
The really important story of this month's release are when we break down those job losses by full-time and part-time. The 84,000 jobs lost is actually 109,000 full-time jobs lost, with a gain of 25,000 jobs. So this could be employers are starting to cut hours because the uncertainty of the economy means they can't keep holding on to the employees that they have been holding on to. The layoff rate has actually been remarkably low, but we might be at this tipping point where a flood of job losses is about to come.
Very interesting. Today's report shows full-time jobs and youth employment taking significant losses. Which workers or sectors appear most vulnerable right now, and what does that tell us about inequality and job quality in Canada's labour market?
The youth unemployment rate was at generational highs for much of 2025, and then it improved towards the end, but now it's heading back up. So the trend of unemployment was falling, and it's unclear if we're hitting a sort of steady state around 6.7%, which is still too high, but it's also possible that we are about to see the overall unemployment rate climb, with youth serving as canaries in the coal mine. And the fact that the majority of the job losses were in the private sector indicate that this is for-profit businesses no longer able to hold on to the employees as uncertainty only grows.
Is Canada headed into a recession? Well, that's the number one talk right now. And I think it is. And I think it's already been here. When they talk about stagflation, that's just another tax on the people. Because the amount of spending that our federal government is doing, well, it's just not enough. They're not generating enough money to that's coming into the country so that they can invest into social programs, because that's all they're good at doing. But if you take a deeper dive, out east, they've lost jobs in the double digits. And then if you look out in British Columbia, same story there. Now, adding the tariffs from the United States doesn't help either. I mean, folks, they want to tear off Canada a little bit more. They're going to do it through human rights abuse. If you take a deep dive, that's just another way that the U.S. can tariff Canada and 60 other countries as well, accusing them of human rights abuse. And that's going to be a bit of a process. We'll see what happens. But right now, the U.S. is accusing Canada and 60 other countries for human rights abuse. Now, people have been begging, cut the taxes, make life easier, make life more affordable. There's people out here working 13, 14 years at the same job that they love, but they haven't gotten ahead. They're still paycheck to paycheck. Now people are not even paycheck to paycheck. People can't even afford to eat, and they work full time. Some of these folks work 2 jobs. Food banks, the lineup at food banks is a real deal thing, man. I've shown you videos, I've shown you pictures. You've seen it from other content creators. Brand new cars lined up at the food bank. Lined up. When I made those posts almost a year ago talking about the food banks, they were seeing like a handful of people, maybe 1,000 up to 1,400. During my posts that I made, they're starting to see like up to 1,700 to 2,000. Now, I think that number has gone down a little bit, but, there's a lot of good folks that want to get ahead. They're trying to get ahead and get out of the matrix, right? But in Canada, it's just difficult to do so, right? The taxation is just absolutely insane. So hopefully, let's see what happens.
Let's see if there's some good deals coming our way. Let's see if these projects really start getting moving, because honestly, they're going to have to put themselves deeper in debt to get this economy roaring, because now is the time to do it. They got to build those pipelines. So Alberta definitely want to get these pipelines built out to northern British Columbia, also out to Texas, and hopefully out east as well. And that can save Canada a lot, but it's going to take a ton of money for them to do so. But it would pay off, because the damage that's happening in the Gulf, they're set back almost 15 years. If we can get these projects completed within 5, we'd be looking pretty. Tell me, what do you guys think?
So where does this leave us? Right now, millions of people in Canada are doing everything right, working hard, paying taxes, trying to build a stable life, and still falling behind. That's the part that should concern you the most. Because when hard work no longer guarantees stability, that's not just an economic problem, that's a system problem. Think about it. When families can't afford groceries, when housing feels out of reach, when jobs are disappearing, and when healthcare becomes unreliable, that's not temporary. That's a warning sign. And the reality is, most people don't notice it until it directly affects them, until their rent increases again, until their grocery bill doubles, until someone in their family needs care and can't get it. By then, it's already too late to ignore. But here's the most important part. Awareness is your biggest advantage right now, because the people who understand what's happening early are the ones who can adapt, prepare, and protect themselves. So I want to ask you something. What are you experiencing right now? Are things getting harder where you live? Are you feeling the pressure more than before? Or do you think this is all temporary? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because real experiences matter more than headlines. And if this video made you think, even for a moment, like this video. It helps more people see the reality. Subscribe, because I'm going to keep breaking this down. No filters, no sugarcoating, just the truth about what's really happening. And remember, when an economy starts to crack, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, quietly, until one day, everyone feels it. Stay aware, stay prepared. I'll see you in the next video.